There you go. Monday, March 22nd, 2021, 5:30. This is the time and place for a city commission meeting in Huron, South Dakota. Roll call, please.
Smith.
Here.
Close.
Here.
Bragg.
Here.
Thomas.
Present.
Mayor Hanson.
Here. Join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
City Commission at this time will adjourn to convene as a Board of Adjustment for the following public hearing. 2.1, variance request filed by William and Stacy Beretta. Project address 431 5th Street Northeast to subdivide a 90-foot wide parcel of land into a 40-foot lot and a 50-foot lot, where code requires a lot frontage of 100 in the area zone R2, one family residential district. I'm going to ask City Planner Barry Cranston to follow up on this and tell us what's going on.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. The hearing examiner has looked at this as well as the staff. My recommendation was to originally go with a covenant on the 10-foot strip between what would be the two properties. The hearing examiner felt strongly that it should be replatted because he felt that the covenant would probably create title insurance issues down the road. And so he is recommending that, along with my comments about, locating property pins, but he is recommending to replat it if they go forward with the project. In doing so, that would allow them the proper setbacks to locate a new house on the lot. So with that, we'd recommend approval of that, along with his recommendation was to include the building inspector's comments as well. That's in your packets.
Are there people here that,
Yeah,
would you like to add something?
yes, I do. I actually got a statement from the title company saying that they accept all covenants and that I would have no title issues in selling the property with that 10 feet, so
Thank you.
thank you. So I would really hope you would recommend or reconsider not making me plat the properties because I'm putting my home on that house, so I'm not gonna resell it and screw up that 10 feet and screw up my own house with it. If I try.
Sometimes we don't worry about you, we worry about the next person.
No, I understand
20 years
that.
from now, and everybody go, what did that commission
Right,
do
but if
back
I sell 431, I'm still living in that house. Yeah, so,
I hope I didn't screw your name up either, by the way.
well, that's fine, you can call me whatever you want.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Go ahead. You have any more questions? or-
No, I don't think so. We can abide by all the setbacks, the zoning codes. We'll do our own plumbing and all, that's not a problem. We're not going to exceed the 45% of square footage and such, so my only, I would ask if you wouldn't make me replat the property, so that's where I'm at.
Any questions from the
I guess
commission?
my response to that is, originally we had looked at that, and the covenant is a fairly typical thing that we use in our office. I think by using the covenant, one of the advantages of doing that is that creates a situation where the city commission, if the covenant were ever to be released, the city commission would have to agree to release that covenant on the property. So it does constitute some controls going forward into the future, that if that covenant were to ever be released, the future city commissions would have some say in that. As opposed to if they were to just replat it and they were to just sell off 10 feet, that could happen as it could today, and it creates a similar situation that we had with the Gone properties over on Wyoming when we did that variance. So in a sense, it is true.
And so what does the Huron title letter say?
Oh, so I'll read it. She's got a letter from Huron Title that says, "Dear Stacy, regarding your concern about a 10-foot restriction and covenant, our office accepts all restrictions and covenants that are put on land. We show them as exceptions on the final policy. You shouldn't have trouble selling the property with one on it, as there are several land around Huron that have covenant and restrictions on them. Hope this helps. Best regards, Laura Hinricker." So she doesn't foresee a problem.
And of course, replatting is an expensive,
I've left 2 messages with both of them, not heard from either one yet, as,
Yeah.
I mean, it's gonna be.
so the covenant, restrictive covenant, in your opinion, would solve the issue?
I believe it, honestly, I believe it offers more control. But there is an advantage with the replat in that it does create that separate legal address.
And would we draft that then? Would Tucker draft that, or would they be responsible?
No, they would be, the engineering firms would draft those legal addresses as a part of their replat. So in one, it's kind of 6 of one and half a dozen of the others, but I do believe that the covenant provides this commission more control than just platting.
Well, okay, so I'm confused.
Yeah.
Are you saying you still want them to replat it and get the restrictive
No,
covenant?
what I'm saying is the hearing examiner is recommending
Right.
that they be required to replat it.
But you don't think that's
But I
necessary?
do not necessarily agree with that recommendation, because I do believe that the actual covenant provides the commission with more control in going into the future, because at some point, if they ever wanted to sell that other property, then the city would have to agree to release that covenant.
What does that covenant consist of? What's the wording of that covenant?
It basically conjoins the 2 properties together, and in this case, it would be the west 10 feet of that particular legal address, along with the other lot. In this case, it's lot 9, lot 9. It would take that west 10 feet of lot 10 and conjoin it permanently to lot 9.
And so it would require them to sell both parcels together? That's what you mean
Yes.
by conjoining,
Yes.
correct?
Yes. And we've done that for years out of our office.
Well, I want the covenant to be reviewed by the city attorney.
Sure, yes.
Yes, Commissioner Smith.
Thank you. So, for clarity, I did not drive by the property. I'm just going off the
Mhm.
aerial on what we have here.
Mhm.
But if that were separately platted, with the proposed home that's going to be on there, there's some comments in here from the, where did it go? From the inspector's comments regarding square footage in the lot.
Mhm.
So if they replat it, is that going to create another over 45% coverage?
No, and if it's replatted where, for example, lot 9 becomes the 50-footer and lot 10 becomes the new smaller 40-foot lot, neither of those have structure issues with the percentages. When we raised it to 45%, we did that with these kinds of things in mind. So in neither case will it create a square footage issue.
And through your example, you folks own the property, the whole 90-foot frontage. So in your example, they would retain ownership of all of that.
Mhm.
It's just when they go to sell it, the new buyer has to understand that they're they're joined together.
That 10-foot strip is gonna go with the other lot.
Yeah.
So are you in agreement with all the other conditions except for the replating recommendation?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so that's the 5 that the inspector has, and then the restrictive covenant that the planner has raised.
Correct, yeah, none of those are a problem.
Any other questions on this topic?
I would move that we approve the 10-foot restrictive covenant concept, along with the other restrictions as outlined by the inspectors.
A motion by Commissioner Smith. Do we have a second on that motion?
Before I second it, does that mean that it would not require the replating?
It would not require the replat, yes.
I'll second that.
Second by Commissioner Coop. We've had our discussion, so roll call vote, please.
Smith.
Aye.
Clute.
Aye.
Bragg.
Aye.
Rhodes.
Aye.
Mayor Harrington.
Aye. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
You can leave too.
Thank you.
I always have to tell people that.
No, yeah, I don't know, I
Thanks,
didn't know.
you guys.
You can stay. Okay. Bad day look in the eye. Okay, we are going to, Board of Adjustments will adjourn us to reconvene the City Commission. Public forum. Public comments may be sent during the live meeting broadcast on the city's YouTube channel. The link is listed on the city's website at www.hursd.com/citygovernment. In order to use the YouTube chat feature, please create an account with your YouTube and Gmail or use an existing accounts. Please state your name and address for the record. Public forum is limited to a maximum of 3 minutes per person. Tonight, we have our HR Director, Nathan Hofer, sitting on the computer, watching for any emails that would come across. If any questions, we would stop it and utilize public forum to answer those questions to the best of our ability. Is there anybody up here that got any public forum questions or information tonight that they'd like to hand out? Seeing none, we'll move on from public forum to agenda approval. And is there any amendments to our agenda tonight? Does anybody know of?
Motion to approve the agenda.
Motion, need a second?
Second.
A second, Commissioner Bragg. Roll call vote, please.
Smith.
Aye.
Clute.
Aye.
Bragg.
Aye.
Rhodes.
Aye.
Mayor Harrington.
Aye. Consent agenda. Matters appearing on the consent agenda are expected to be non-controversial and will be acted upon by this commission at one time without discussion unless a member of the commission requests an opportunity to address any given item. Items removed from the consent agenda will be discussed at the beginning of the formal items. 6.1, minutes of March 15th, 2021. 6.2, Board of Equalization minutes of March 15th, 2021. 6.3, fuel quotes for city departments. 6.4, application for abatement or refund of property taxes for 1079 Michigan Avenue Southwest. 6.5, personnel, recommend to hire Cole Long for the police officer's position. 6.6, payment of the bills. Need a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Move to approve consent.
Commissioner Smith, move to approve. Need a second?
Second.
Second, Commissioner Bragg. Roll call vote, please.
Smith.
Aye.
Clute.
Aye.
Bragg.
Aye.
Rhodes.
Aye.
Mayor Harrington.
Aye. Bid quotes. Assistant City Engineer, would you like to discuss what the bid quote for tonight is?
This is for the live floor trailer. We use walking floor trailer to haul trash to and from, or to dump. And we had 96,000 budgeted for this item. It came in 90,655. So $5,345 under budget. Recommend approval.
And this is the trailer we haul to pier each day with our garbage?
No,
Yep. Well,
no, this is to replace the recycle one.
I think we haul this
Frame.
before.
goes to
The
Sioux
frame
Falls.
broke, yeah.
Okay, all
And
right.
the state's putting in half on the grant
Oh,
in
okay,
this trailer,
okay, so,
so it's,
it's, what's the bid now?
90,655, so 45,800.
It's gonna be paid by the state, or city,
Yeah.
okay, all right.
Move approval?
Okay. Approved.
Second?
Second, Mr. Smith. Any more discussion on this item? Okay, so seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Smith.
Aye.
Clute.
Aye.
Wright.
Aye.
Rubbish.
Aye.
Mayor Harrington.
Aye. Petitions and communications, 8.1. Pauline, would you like to handle this one? Financial Director Pauline Carey will handle this.
Thank you, Mayor. This is an application for a new license. They have been inspected. We have received no comments and ask for your approval.
I'd move approval.
Move, need a second?
Second?
Any discussion on 8.1? Seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Smith.
Aye.
Clute.
Aye.
Wright.
Aye.
Rubbish.
Aye.
Mayor Harrington.
Aye. 8.2, Pauline, please.
This also is a public hearing on a transfer of on-sale liquor license to the South Dakota State Fair. I believe all inspections have been made, and we have received no comments, so I ask for your approval.
Need a motion?
I'd move approval.
Motion approved. Mr. Bragg, need a second.
Second?
Second by Commissioner Smith. Any discussion on this item?
Yeah,
Commissioner
something,
Smith, you
Mayor.
bet.
Tucker, or between Tucker and Pauline, can you outline, because this is a license that's issued by the state of South Dakota, it's an on-sale liquor license. They have the ultimate authority in issuing this license, correct?
The state does?
The state?
It's a state license, but you are recommending to approve or disapprove.
I would agree with that.
Okay, thank you.
And what specifically is it the State Fair Foundation, or is it the fair itself? What entity is actually?
South Dakota State Fair.
The State Fair itself, and so that ownership is listed as, that's still a Huron, even though it's a state entity, that's a Huron address, basically, so I mean, that will.
Correct.
A concern, if I may, Mayor.
Yes.
A concern that I have with it, Peggy, I know you're in the audience here, but a concern that I do have with it is it's going to a public or a government body. And I just hate to see it not ever come back into, should the state fair ever discontinue use for it, that it wouldn't get back into private business circulation. I know there's no way to guarantee that, but because we're limited on how many of these that we get, and you know the story. So,
So, similar to this license, they can be inactive for up to 2 years. And after being inactive of 2 years, the license would go away. Usually within that 2 years, what we have found is somebody or some entity steps up and purchases them.
And they're paying good value for this, so they're not gonna let that value just go down the tubes if they decide they don't need it anymore. I'm sure they'd sell it. That'd be my opinion. Just logically. I mean, you're paying good money for it, right? I mean,
Yes. So if I may,
Sure.
Mayor,
Yeah,
Commissioners.
come on up, Peggy.
so we had quite a bit of discussion about, should we or shouldn't we purchase this license? It's available. We knew the 2 years was coming up, so we knew that, there was a chance it would revert back to the city. We when we drafted it, we had the Attorney General's office looked at it, as did Department of Revenue, to sign off on it. And, you know, we use it quite a few times throughout the year, and I mean, of course, none of us know what the future holds, but I certainly wouldn't envision that we would anticipate having to give it back at any point. But I appreciate your comments.
Any other questions for Peggy?
If I could-
Yes.
So I guess I don't know exactly how these licenses work with such a big, so this can be used at any location as long as it's on that fairgrounds, or is it doesn't have to be specific to any one of the buildings?
Correct.
Because I know like other,
Correct. We
you know,
put
other
the-
licenses have to transfer, but that's, of course, going to a different address. So your entire complex is considered one address, so it's all,
We put the full, the primary core area, you know, we didn't do 19 acres
Right.
or the football field or any of those.
Separated by lots.
Right,
Somewhat
yes.
in the fairgrounds, and so the legal description reads, that core area lot 9, 10, 11, 12.
so they can use it freely on any of those areas.
Any of
And
the areas.
and like multiple, could they have one event in one building and one event in another at the same time and still be using that same?
Yes, they can.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thanks
for example, we have 2 weddings booked on the same weekend, so we'll be using the women's building in Norby Hall.
Thank you.
And we also, you know, I know there was some frustration with some of our local bars about us. They didn't feel like we weren't competing against apples to apples. And so we could have gone down the long road of, you know, going through the state process just to get one. And we just thought, you know what, we wanted to be on the same level field as everybody else. It just felt like that was the right thing to do. It's a lot of money, but,
You know,
I think it'll be a good business decision for you, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
yeah.
Ah, yes.
I got one question, and this might be more for Pauline, and maybe Peggy knows, but if they would ever want to transfer that, that wouldn't get transferred out of Huron.
Correct.
It would only get transferred, it would stay in
We have
Huron,
to transfer within here on that.
even though it's a state license, because,
It's a state license issued to Huron, you know, in the sense of the city. Huron has allowed so many licenses based on population. And obviously, when our population was larger, we have 2 extra, is what they're telling us. So that's why we are always concerned when they're not active. Because if we lose those licenses, we cannot get them back.
yeah, I
So
understand.
we're over, so they're a state license, but issued by Huron.
One of those licenses was when Sunset, when we annexed in Old Highway 14, we picked up that license and came into city limits.
Okay, anything else? Any questions? Thanks, Peggy, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Roll call vote.
Smith.
Aye.
Clute.
Aye.
Gregg.
Aye.
Rover.
Aye.
Mayor Harrington.
Aye. 8.3, I'm going to ask our city attorney Tucker to handle that one, if you would, please.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. This is to consider renewing the management agreement with Top 4 Events for the Huron Event Center. There is an agreement in place as to the management of the Huron Event Center. It is set to expire here at the end of this month. Reviewed it. Neither party had any changes to make to the current management agreement. So we essentially changed the dates, and we're looking to renew the one currently in place.
Okay. Thank you. I need a motion to approve.
Move to approve the agreement.
Mr. Smith, will you approve? Need a second?
Second.
Mr. Bragg, second. Any discussion on this topic?
I-
Yes.
One question?
Yes.
Thank you. Do we know if there was any other people interested in this time around, or not? No? Okay.
I think we're very lucky they agreed to re-up.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sure coming off a
Yeah.
pandemic year
Terrible.
like we had. Any other discussion on this one? Seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Smith.
Aye.
Clute.
Aye.
Bragg.
Aye.
Lovett.
Aye.
Mayor Harrington.
Aye. Departmental items. 10.1, April schedule change for garbage and yard waste collection, and we are honored tonight to have superintendent of our landfill here to take Commissioner Clute off the hook on this deal.
Thank you.
Much like we did last year, April's gonna be pretty busy for, I guess, yard cleanups and stuff like that. It's already actually started, but what we're looking forward to doing is starting the grass collection back up. Last year, we went on Wednesdays, the entire town was collected on a Wednesday. We're gonna continue to do that this April cleanup month also, just because it allows us to free up some trucks. In addition, we're gonna do the double garbage pickup at the houses to help the people maybe clean out some more of that garbage. A lot of them with the containers, they thought that was a great idea, didn't have to come out with the few bags out there during our cleanup and stuff. They just put it out in the can. So if your garbage day is on a Monday, it'll get picked up on Monday and Thursday. If it's Tuesday, it'll get picked up on Tuesday and Friday, and then similar with the Thursday. So the trucks will be out picking up those cans from those houses for those 4 weeks. Grass collection will be on the Wednesdays. Recycling will be on the actual day of your collection. So we're only gonna do that once during the week on the recycling. Some of the other changes are, the Saturdays, we are gonna continue to put stuff in the bins, so we ask that everybody have their stuff bagged up. It's been working, not having customers come into the building, so we're gonna continue that. So Saturdays will open from 9 to 1 o'clock. Right now, we've been going till noon, so that'll be an extension till 1 o'clock of that extra hour. Bring your utility bill for the multiple loads also for the month. So in April, if you have rubble or metal items, appliances and stuff that you want to bring out, bring your utility bill, and we'll allow you to come as many times as you want during that month of April. So, and there's a lot to go over if people actually call us, or get on the website, it'll be in the paper. We're also hitting the social media and stuff. So the information should be out there for everybody. Similar to exactly what we did last year in the month of April.
All right. Any questions for Dale?
You did almost as well as Doug would have done.
We have a lot of new area that we're going to be opening up also. And that drop-off site on concrete is one of the biggest things that we've been hearing a lot of people are excited about. So we've been working on that and looking at some other things that we can open up. So get people to be able to have 24-hour access and not in the mud. Okay.
Thanks, Dale.
Thank you. Now we're gonna go with 10.2, city planner Gary Cranston's gonna deal with this. Gary, please.
Yeah. As you know, we're continuing to work on the pre-mitigation disaster plan and updating that. Again, NECOG is kind of the lead organization there for the county. And it's not just Huron, it's all of the communities within the county that we're working through this. What you'll see in your packet is there are two risk assessment worksheets. Worksheet number 1 is really a worksheet that is designed to identify what you feel as a commission, as commissioners, what the highest probability would be for those kinds of disasters, whether it's a snowstorm or a drought or a tornado, what the probability of that is to likely occur. And then worksheet number 2 is really trying to, it's a step further in trying to determine what you feel is the most vulnerable part of the community when those disasters do occur. And so what I'd ask is that you take some time to give that some thought, and then please return them to me within the next week or so. And then I'll forward those back to NECOG, and then we'll use that as public input for trying to determine the vulnerability of the community for specific disasters. That's all I have.
All right, very good, thank you, Barry, appreciate that. That's an important topic, and we'll get that information to you people, and we'll get that sent in, and hopefully we can formulate some disaster plan for us. With that, now we'll